Welcome everybody to the Catchin Up with Carter show right here on YouTube so far. Stay tuned to me for a little bit longer and eventually I will be on more platforms. But welcome anyway. Thank you for clicking us and checking out our page and checking out our show. Tonight is another interesting one for me. It's going to be about 4-H. If you know what a 4-H is, normally it's, well, at least for me, is when you go to like a county fair or a state fair and you see the 4-H with the clover, and usually you see the anything from animals to vegetables to different craft things and art projects that get graded and get ribbons, best of show and stuff. And I've always known about it, like known of it and seen them about, but never known much about them at all, really, come down to it. So I've been thinking about that and also thinking about putting our son Jackson into 4-H out here in Rochelle. So I don't know. I figured we'd set something up, and I got a really good lineup of an interview. So I'm excited to talk with her and to learn more about 4-H. Now, 4-H stands for Head, Heart, Hand, and Health. And each one, they have a little phrase that goes with each one, and it's really interesting. And I think their whole goal of this program is to help youth plan for life and work and get them used to things and you know, by hands-on training and getting you prepared for what lies ahead of you in the future. And you know, post-COVID, it seems like we need more and more and more of stuff like this to keep our youth educated. So I'm really excited to hear about the 4-H program with Johnna. So first, I was going to play a normal song, you know, like I normally do. I find like a random song that kind of goes along with the theme. But this time I found a 4-H theme song, and that is by Mark Miller. It's only 95 subscribers with this guy. Why don't you hit subscribe for him as well and play this 4-H theme song. And we will have the person to tell you all about 4-H coming up after this song. Talk to you soon.
Well, they say this all began in the 1902 when this dude from old Ohio said these kids need something new. So he got a group together, they became the central hub. But the group needed a name, so they picked Tomato Club. So soon up in West Virginia, the first tent camp took place. And further down in Georgia, another joined the race. From East Coast to the West Coast, the club just grew and grew, till the Congress of this great U.S. said we know what to do. The passage of Smith-Lever Act in year 1914, the 4-H club became the name, they changed it nevermore. We took the 4-leaf clover to wear upon our clothes, and as this train ran down the track, it simply grows and grows. 6 million now of us there are, we're not just here, we've gone afar, in 80 countries round the globe, just look and you will see we are. So if you live in the woods or you live in the city, if your dog's kinda ugly or it looks kinda pretty, if you got a lot of land or a small window box, if your cow's got a cold or your brother's got the pox, if you work with your hands or you work with your brain, if you like to water gardens or brush a horse's mane. Now I've listed all these things that you might like to do, so the only thing that's missing in 4-H is you! If you would like to receive more information or find a local group near you, then please visit www.4-H.org www.4-H.org.
Alright everybody, here we are, we're back, and I have Johnna on the phone from 4-H. Welcome, Johnna. How are you doing today?
Thanks, I appreciate the invite.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so as I mentioned right before I called you, I mentioned to everybody that I barely knew much about 4-H and what they did. I just thought that kids could grow vegetables and raise animals, and that was pretty much all, and then you get ribbons, and then that's all it was. And Then I tried to get my stepson involved, Jackson, and out here in the Rochelle area. And when I called somebody, she told me so much more. And I was like, whoa, we got to do a show, because I don't think most people know how much 4-H does for the community. For one, I just watched the video, and they build so much character in young women and men, teaching them how to, prepare youth for life and work in the future. Yeah, tell me about 4-H. Tell everybody about 4-H.
Certainly. So it's interesting you say that. We have, I think we're one of the best hidden secrets, unfortunately, for a lot of families that don't know about the 4-H program. Much like you, they go like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was available. So 4-H has been around a long time. It started back in 1902. And I'm an Ohio State graduate, so I tend to say it started in Ohio because if we look back at history, it says that a superintendent of schools, a gentleman named A.B. Graham, started the 4-H program back then as a way to educate kids about farm practices and cooking practices back then. Back in 1902, about everybody did some form of farming, right?
Right.
So it was designed for that purpose, to educate, but also to take the education to the home. So it was a way to get kids to learn things that they could take back to their parents and help the parents implement new practices as well. So, of course, 1902, very agriculture, very home economics oriented. But as time has gone along, we have progressed as well. And so a lot of people tend to think that 4-H is for farm kids only. And we have not been for farm kids only for a long, long time now. We believe that we have something that any kid and every kid could be interested in. So there's over 170 different kinds of projects that kids can choose from. And that gets into your typical agricultural projects, like you said, farm animals and cooking and vegetables and things like that. But we also have robotics and woodworking and engineering, computer engineering sorts of things. We have the woodworking, visual arts, interior design, vet science. It just, the list goes on and on and on of what we have. We have esports now as a newer project as well. So we are moving along with the times in addition to progressing from that agricultural side. But we still definitely have our 4-H families that are involved in the agricultural projects, the beef, the sheep, the swine, goats, those sorts of projects, and the vegetable gardening. But we've broadened way past that as well. And most of our members, I think about over half of our members that are in the 4-H program do not have a farm background. So we believe we have something for everyone. And one of the big perks about it is that it is designed, it's a very family-oriented kind of program. We encourage parents to come along with their youth to their 4-H meetings. A typical 4-H club meets once a month. And they do a variety of things during that monthly meeting. And so it's a great leadership opportunity because at those monthly meetings, the kids elect officers of their peers. And so a typical 4-H club can have kids as young as 8. That's our traditional 4-H or community club program, up to the ages of 18. And that's all as of September 1st of the current school year.
I was going to say, I'm sure a lot of people that are, volunteers or even work there probably started in 4-H when they were young too, probably.
There's several. Yeah, I would tend to say out of the staff that we have, all of our 4-H staff have some 4-H background, and it's definitely not a requirement. I have several coworkers across the state that do not have a 4-H background, and are doing very well in the position as well. But of course, if you grew up in the 4-H program, you know what you benefited from that experience, and so it's an easy sell to go, gosh, I would really like to work for this organization. So I know myself and my 4 EPCs that I have all have 4-H experience from when they were a youth.
So since you said that, I didn't know that for sure. I had a feeling that you were in 4-H yourself. What did you do when you were in 4-H?
So I did a variety of projects. I grew up on a farm, so I did pig projects. I had a swine project, and I had some beef cattle. But I also did photography and sewing, and I did visual arts. I did first aid and health, and so I did a gamut of projects. I dipped my toe into a variety of different projects to see what I liked. I always had the livestock side of things, but I did a lot of the non-livestock kinds of things as well. So I really enjoyed my 4-H experience, and my parents both were 4-H leaders at the time too, and so it was truly a family adventure for my whole family.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. And I was mentioning to you off the recording about when I got this pamphlet in the mail, and I'm I'm reading all these different programs you can be a part of as a kid, and I know my stepson himself, he's so smart when it comes to science and learning, and when you involve hands-on, it's game over. He'll just love to do anything like that. And when I was reading the variety of it, like from cosmetics to vegetables to aerospace to, I mean, it was like all over the place. And if you can't find something that your kid is interested in, it's impossible to me. It's just woodworking, like you said. There's just like so much more in it than I thought, and to teach kids at an age of 8 on, kind of like Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts in a way, but I don't know. This sounds equally as fun, and you guys don't have the attention like you should. But now let's say you have kids that are outside of that range or whatever, and you want to somehow help out. Is there ways for people to volunteer to help out with 4-H as well?
Certainly. So we're always looking for volunteers, adults either to start 4-H clubs, or they can come and be episodic volunteers. If there's something that they really want to focus on or work on, they could do that. They can also become a spin club leader, which means a spin club is a special interest club. So if they have a skill or talent that they think kids would like to learn more about, they could actually come in and go through a volunteer screening. All of our volunteers have to go through screening because we want to make sure we have the right adults working with our kids.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Once we get them, we know that they're screened, we can work with them on what sorts of things they would like to offer to teach. So while we have a lot of projects, we know that there might be something out there that kids would like to learn about, but maybe we don't have a project just specifically geared toward that. So we can offer spin club experiences where an adult could come in and teach like at least 6 sessions to the youth about a variety of different things that they can learn about. We're always looking for both adults and youth to come and join our program.
Okay, good. It's good to know, because I know we're going to get involved in it ourselves. As soon as we get this all figured out, we're definitely going to try to get involved. Oh yeah, how does somebody get started? Like, I know I'm from Rochelle, and probably a lot of people that will listen are from, around this area in Illinois, northern Illinois area. However, there are some people that listen to my show elsewhere. So is there a way you just Google 4-H like I did? And is there a way to look to see where the closest 4-H club is in your area then?
So you can either, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could go to the state 4-H website, and there's a way to say, find out more about 4-H, and you can fill out a little survey thing, and then that goes to the state 4-H office, and they will forward that information then of who's interested to our local staff, and we'll reach out to you. Or you could also go directly to you could Google University of Illinois Extension, and you could say Ogle 4-H, whatever, and you should be able to find our website as well. And we are more than happy to help you. Usually on our website we have a list of all the current 4-H clubs that are available, and we usually follow up with an email to our new families that are interested in showing with them what clubs are available in your area. And then the simplest way and the best way, we think, is sometimes just having that direct communication with the leader, because we would tell you, and I would tell you too, it's good to shop around a little bit, because every 4-H club is a little differently. What ages of kids might be in the club, or what their interests are, or how big they are, or how comfortable are. Because not all kids like big clubs, or not all kids want smaller clubs. So we do encourage you to visit some clubs first to see which one is going to be the best fit for you and your family. And then every club meets at a different time sometimes. So some meet maybe Sunday afternoons, some might meet on Tuesday evenings. So knowing what your family schedule is too helps to know as well. So we would hook you up as far as giving you the information of what clubs are available in your area, and then where they meet at, what time they meet at, and then giving you the contact information for that leader. And then having that communications with that leader, when's your next meeting, and can we come and visit, and what sorts of things does your club do? So every club does things a little differently.
What are the most common clubs out in the DeKalb, Oregon, Rochelle, Ogle, DeKalb County? What would you say are the top clubs that you guys have, most popular?
So our clubs vary. So most of our clubs, we don't really have, I don't think we have too many clubs that are just saying they're specialized. There was a time we used to have clubs that were just like horse clubs or whatever else. But most of our clubs anymore do multi-projects. And so there may be some clubs that don't have any livestock kids in it, which is okay. But then we may have several that have a combination. They have livestock and they have what we call the general project show, which would be non-livestock projects. So honestly, anymore, I would say most of our clubs are like a combination club. It doesn't, it's not just focused on just livestock or just general projects. We try to encourage that. It's kind of nice. The kids learn from from each other when you have the combination of projects. But there's also something he said when it's a specialty project, then they can get into a little deeper. When we had horse clubs, for instance, they really could get into promoting more of the horse bull and hippology side of things, which hippology is the study of horses. And so they could get maybe a little more in depth on those practices, and we're more of a spin club kind of concept at that time. So I would say most of our clubs are a jack of all trades, so a little bit of everything, and kids that take a variety of different projects.
And you said most of the time that's once a month. Is that all year round then, or do you have like a season kind of?
They usually, they may take a month off in the summer or something maybe, but our 4-H year runs September through August, so September 1st through August 31st. And so it's maybe some people, after our fairs are done, whatever, they may take a little hiatus for that August after they get done with fair, and then start back up again in September.
Okay, that's good to know. What is your favorite thing about 4-H now? As from when you were a kid in it, what do you look forward to during the 4-H season?
So I like it all. I love it all. I always like seeing the kids at when we do general project show judging in the 4-H fair, and that's always like the climax of the 4-H year, because we get to see those final projects coming in and what the kids have learned throughout the year. And so it's exciting to see that. It's nice to see when we do the general project show judging, kids go through a conference judging, so they sit down. They bring their project on that day, and they sit down one-on-one with an adult that they've never met before, and that adult will ask them questions about what they learned, what they do, what would they do differently with their projects, and answering all those questions. And it's so cool to see those kids just blossom, because they suddenly now get to see, they get to see what someone else thinks about the work they've done, but just the confidence they get. I know even our older, more experienced kids get nervous, like, what is the judge going to ask me this year, or can I answer this to my best abilities? But what's really cool is when they're done and the excitement they get, like, I got a blue ribbon on my project, and the judge said this about it, and you really can see the kids grow and develop during that process.
What is the process like with if you get like first place at a county fair? Do you have something where, if I have the biggest pumpkin of LaSalle County or whatever it is, do the first place move on to like the state fair too, or
it varies. So our general project show, we don't do placings. We do blue, red, or white ribbons. So you're judged based on the criteria for that project. So while you may be competing against other kids, multiple kids could get blue ribbons. It doesn't change that. But what the judges will do is, with our non-livestock projects, is that they will select kids to represent the county at the state fair. And so the best projects, it depends on what project area it is, and maybe we can only send one kid for a particular project area, will be able to represent the county at the state fair. And so that's really cool. And to be able to say, like, I was, the top in my class or whatever with your project to represent the county is quite an accomplishment.
Do you have any... What's that?
I said, but in the livestock world, it's just that, we do the county judging, and if a kid wants to go to state fair, that's totally an option thing that they can do on their own.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they could, keep progressing, if they have the biggest cucumber and you can just keep going and going, or how that works. That's cool. That's cool that it's equal like that and gives everybody an opportunity to do so. That's really good. From this last season, or how about your whole time doing it, do you have any vegetable or fruit or something that just stands out in your mind? You're like, man, I saw this 800-pound tomato, or did you have something like that? Do you have a good story?
So in our world, we're not looking for size necessarily, like, in tomatoes, whatever. We're looking for quality and consistency. So, like, when a kid brings a vegetable plate, we're looking to see, are they consistently the same size? Are they good produce, whatever? Like, are there no spots on the tomatoes? Are they all equally the same size and color? So those are things that the judges are going to look at. There's going to be like kind of like standards of perfection, whatever you want to say, that they're looking for. So they're not necessarily looking for like the biggest tomato, the biggest pumpkin, but they're looking for the kid's knowledge, first of all. So we could have a kid whose project may not look the greatest, but boy, during the interview, they knew their stuff, and the judge could really tell they knew a lot about what they did in their project. And so that interview can make a real big difference on how well a project does at the county level. Just that those communication skills make a difference, and we want to know that the kid did the project. So, the judges, when they come, when the kids bring their project, the judges are going to ask them a variety of questions related to their project to find out what they know. And so, during those interviews, you can really tell what kids really did a lot on their project versus maybe the kid that just threw it together at the last minute. Not that we would have kids do that, but it does happen.
Right. Yeah, I think, us adults do it too. I mean, we grow up and we still... Yeah, absolutely. But this is so key, I feel, as a parent of 4, 2 stepchildren that are my own and 2 of my own now. I love them all equally, and this is so important as a parent. We think, like, how can we make sure we teach them enough right and enough wrong, and how to keep a good balance, and then also make sure they're ready to live on their own and make sure they're financially ready. And it's so many worries as a parent. And it's been so hard with this pandemic. I watched it with a lot of families and hear about it a lot, dealing with teachers I talk to, and they'd say how much difference the kids have how they've changed so much with the everybody had to be remote learning for so long, and it made such difference. And so trying to bring back everything to the kids and getting them away from screen time only and all this stuff is tough. And something like Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, and then 4-H is so amazing. It sounds like, I think it's great for young men and women to do exactly that, because they need as much prepping as possible to deal with the way this world can be. We need as much help as possible, and this is such a great thing. Who do people contact in this area? Do we call somebody? Is there a local office in DeKalb, or do we just lead the people online then?
So you can call both places. You can call the DeKalb office, or you can call the Ogle office. The Rochelle, of course, is Ogle, and that office is located in Oregon, and that phone number is 815-732-2191.
Okay, there you go. This has been really interesting, and I'm really happy we got to do this. Thank you for teaching us about 4-H, and I want people to learn more. And if you have questions, please go ahead and post it down below, and I will make sure we do a follow-up. Well, no, before I let you go, is there 2 more questions? First off, if now I know you said there's volunteer options, but is there anything people can donate, like as far as either monetary or like objects? Are there things that people can help out with that too?
So, fortunately, in Ogle County and DeKalb, and we're in the process of working on one in Boone, is we do have 4-H foundations, and foundations take in donations, and they help to support our local 4-H program. So if someone really wanted to give a donation to one of those foundations, we would gladly take that, and it would help support the local 4-H program in a variety of ways. But in general, I would call... We're always doing a variety of different things. So we do Super Saturdays, and there are other different kinds of workshop things that are hands-on oriented. If you have things that you think maybe would be beneficial to the 4-H program, you can call and ask us, and we'll tell you, like, yes, we can, or no, we can't. And we won't take anything and everything, because, we're limited on spaces and what we can gather and collect. So, but if there's something that you think might be valuable to the 4-H program, please don't hesitate to give our offices a call, and we'll tell you yes or no, and no matter what, we appreciate you thinking of us. Okay,
and that's good. Thank you so much for that info. The last question was just, Do you have it? Does 4-H do anything during the holidays? Is there anything that, you know how they have, Salvation Army, bell ringers or something? Does 4-H get involved? Is there anything for 4-H during the winter holidays?
So actually, our 4-Hers are involved in a variety of community service projects. So every club is encouraged to do community service in their area. And so I'm just thinking, I know in Boone County this next week or two, they're going to be doing bell ringing. So we don't just focus on ourselves. We also focus on what we can do to help other organizations and other groups in our community. So there's a variety of things that different clubs may do, or in the county level that we do to help support others. Over the holiday break itself, our offices may be closed because we're part of the university, and so there is going to be some time where our offices may be closed over the holidays. But and that's just to energize our staff and get them ready for the new year, because there's a lot of things happening when we get into January and February.
Okay, there you go. I thank you so much again for your time. And everybody, I really hope you enjoyed this. And again, just a little recap. This is great. This teaches youth, women or young women and men, boys and girls, to be able to prepare them for life and work. There's an array of projects and different classes and different things you can take. And there's a ton of different things. It's not just vegetables, fruits, and animals. It's so many things. You can be a city kid, you can be a country kid, you can be anybody, shape, size, and be involved and help your children learn the best way possible and get them to build. I bet the friendships are just incredible that these 4-H kids build along the way as well. So please check out the 4h-org, and then also you heard the phone number from Johnna. You can Google 4-H. There's a lot of information on Google as well as YouTube, because I watched a few videos. Some were a couple dry ones, but there were a couple really good ones. I watched one in I watched the Massachusetts one, and that was really good. I was thinking about putting it in here, but I played a song that I thought was kind of goofy. You'll check it out when I play it, but it's like the 4-H song somebody came up with.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard that.
Well, it's kind of funny, but it's I played it right before, so you'll check it out when I release this podcast. I really appreciate your time, Johnna. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, that was really nice. Thank you so much to Johnna and the people over there at 4-H. I hope you learned something today. If you have kids out there or want to be involved and help young boys and girls be advanced in their life in the future, and life and work and stuff, and really be able to help out, do so many different projects as we just learned about, and there's so much more. You got to Google it. There's a ton of them. And if you get this catalog thing I got, there's like a million different things that sound cool even for adults to do. So check them out. Do me a favor now though. Can you please share this for me? Like us on Instagram, follow us on there, Facebook. We have Catchin Up with Carter and fan page. My stepson Jackson, he has his own thing, Life with Jack. He's on Instagram and has some videos on our YouTube there below also. If you could comment, let us know topics. You can email me also, catchinupwithcarter@gmail.com. catchinupwithcarter@gmail.com. Okay, you should definitely email us. If you have an Airbnb that you want us to go to and review, we can do that. Send us an email. If you have a topic that you should tell people and people want to hear about your topic, I'm sure, email us, catchinupwithcarter@gmail. Again, follow us, share us, like us, hit the bell, subscribe, all those type of things that we all tell you to do. Show us some love. Stay tuned. More shows coming soon, and there's a lot of good ones. Talk to you soon. Stay safe. Happy holidays. Be smooth. Bye-bye.
Thank you for spending an hour of your time with us. Now will you do yourself a favor? Check us out on Catching Up with Carter and Fam Show. Do yourself another favor and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Our dog's also up there, so you'll be doing yourself a third favor. And we'll see you next week. Toodles.